Have you ever felt like giving up because no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to work out? Maybe you failed an exam, been rejected in a job interview, or struggled to master a skill while others seem to get it effortlessly. What if I told you that history remembers some of the greatest minds not because they were naturally gifted, but because they were stubbornly consistent? Today, we'll explore the incredible transformation of a boy who was once mocked as a failure, but later became one of India's most respected scholars. His name was Varadaraja, and his story is a timeless reminder that practice isn't just repetition, it's the fuel that can turn impossibility into achievement. But we won't just stop at his story. I'll also share real-life examples, modern research on learning, and practical takeaways you can apply right now in your own life. So, stick around until the end, because this lesson could change the way you approach every challenge. Long before formal schools, India had gurukuls, places where students learned discipline, service, and practical wisdom, not just academics. Into this world entered a little boy named Varadaraja. He wasn't from a wealthy family. His parents were humble farmers, hard-working and deeply rooted in values. They sent him to the Gurukul at the age of 7, hoping he would become educated and respected. But life didn't go as planned. Varadaraja struggled terribly with studies. His teachers' lessons went over his head. His classmates advanced while he lagged behind. Soon, ridicule replaced encouragement. Imagine being the only one left behind when your peers move on. It's painful, right? Finally, even his guru gave up, advising him to quit and return home. It was like the final blow, confirming his fear. Maybe he was destined to remain uneducated. On his way back home, disappointed and heartbroken, Varadaraja stopped by a well. There he saw something unusual, deep grooves on the stone edge of the well. At first it made no sense. How could soft ropes create marks on hard stone? When he asked a woman nearby, she explained, these marks weren't made overnight. Years of the rope rubbing against the stone left them. That's the miracle of persistence. That moment changed everything for Varadaraja. If a fragile rope could shape stone, then why couldn't his steady practice shape his mind? His weakness was not permanent, it was just undeveloped strength. Determined, Varadaraja went back to his guru and begged for another chance. This time, he wasn't motivated by fear of failure, but by a powerful belief in practice. He woke before sunrise, repeated lessons, asked endless questions, and never stopped even when progress was slow. Over years, the boy once labeled a dullard became a master of Sanskrit grammar. He eventually authored classics like Lagu Siddhanta Kaumuda, Madhya Siddhanta Kaumuda, Sara Siddhanta Kaumuda, and Girvana Padamanjari. His name lives on, not as the boy who failed, but as the scholar who proved the power of practice. Now let's pause here. What made Varadaraja's transformation possible? Science today confirms what his story teaches. Neuroplasticity shows that our brains literally rewire with repeated effort. Like carving grooves in stone, practice strengthens connections until they become permanent pathways. The popular 10,000-hour rule, though debated, highlights the principle that consistent effort outweighs talent. Failure itself becomes feedback, pointing us toward improvement rather than defining us. Varadaraja's story might feel distant, so let's look at more familiar examples. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Without persistence, we wouldn't have the electric bulb. Michael Jordan, once cut from his high school basketball team, used rejection as fuel. Relentless practice turned him into one of the greatest athletes of all time. J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Her practice wasn't just in writing, but in enduring failure. All these people had one thing in common with Varadaraja: they turned obstacles into stepping stones through practice. So what can we take from this? First, consistency beats talent. Natural talent may give you a head start, but consistency determines the finish line. Second, focus on small wins. Like the rope on the stone, tiny daily actions compound into remarkable results. Third, redefine failure. Don't treat failure as the end of the road. Think of it as feedback guiding your next attempt. Finally, remember that discipline is freedom. Having a routine prevents procrastination and builds momentum. I've seen this in my own journey too. When I first tried public speaking, I was awful. My voice trembled, my ideas weren't clear, and I doubted myself. But just like Varadaraja, I kept showing up. Slowly, practice turned anxiety into confidence. That's the beauty of persistence. It doesn't just change your skill level, it changes your identity. You start seeing yourself not as someone who fails, but as someone who grows. Friends, Varadaraja's journey teaches us one unshakable truth. Practice is the greatest form of worship. You don't need to be born brilliant to achieve greatness. You need the patience to show up again and again, even when progress feels invisible. So next time you're tempted to quit, remember the grooves on the stone well. Success isn't about instant brilliance. It's about steady effort carving your future. Keep practicing, keep pushing, and one day, like Varadaraja, your story will inspire others.